Hey everyone, Creature. Welcome back to another video. So, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet have released just today on the Nintendo Switch. And I play a lot of main series Pokemon games, don't get me wrong, but as a Pokemon Go player, it had me wondering, how will these new legendaries, Koraidon Miraidon, do in Pokemon Go in terms of raids and PvP? Now, as we don't have any, released stats or movesets yet, this is all just my predictions and what I'm hoping for these legendaries to be like in Pokemon Go. So take all of this with a grain of salt, but it's gonna be fun. Starting with Koraidon, actually, I should first mention the stats. These things are bulky and strong. They've got like 135 attack and special attack, 135 defense, special defense, 100 HP. These things are pretty bulky, pretty fast, pretty strong. So I'm hoping to see these kind of get the Origin Form Giratina treatment, where they are bulky, but also pretty strong, meaning that can result in a high damage, total damage output, but also good DPS. Now let's move on right to the movesets, since that's basically the meat and potatoes of this video. For starting with Koraidon, for the fast moves, I really hope it gets Counter and Dragon Tail. Now, Koraidon is a very strong physical attacker, and it's fighting Dragon type. Counter and Dragon Tail are two moves it can learn, and this just makes sense for it to have. It's literally perfect. These are two great stab fast moves for it, and I think it just makes perfect sense for it to have these. These two moves also perform quite well in raids, but also PvP, so it has some good synergy there. For charge moves, obviously we're gonna have Outrage on it. If we want this thing to be even a decent Dragon type attacker, it has to have Outrage. It also makes sense because it is a physical attacker, and in the main series games, Outrage is a physical attack, meaning it's better on Koraidon than something like Draco Meteor would be. For a secondary charge move, I thought that Dragon Claw would be a pretty good option. Dragon Claw, not good in raids, is really good in PvP since it charges very fast. And that it would have great synergy with its fast moves since they charge energy decently fast. And it would give it some sort of a shield break option, but also just to put pressure on the opponent. The next move is a bit of a weird one. I'm not sure of its exact moveset. I didn't see this move on it, but I think Dynamic Punch would work perfectly for it. While it does make it kind of a Machamp clone, it would be stronger than Machamp, maybe not Shadow Machamp, but it would be stronger than normal Machamp, and Dynamic Punch is just a great fighting type charge move. It deserves to have it. If it doesn't learn Dynamic Punch though, close combat is the second best option, because it does learn that. And who knows, one day it might get its signature move, Collision Course. Not sure of the exact stats of that move in the main series games yet, but it's going to be interesting to see. The final move, I want to add something of a coverage option. I didn't have too many options here, but I narrowed it down to Rock Slide and Iron Head. Iron Head can counter Fairy types, but with Koraidon, you won't want to be staying into Fairy type anyways, since they can basically just 3-shot you or something with Charm. Rock Slide could be good against flying types, but at the same time, you already have strong Dragon Claws that you can just throw it as well. But Rock Slide can also charge up quite fast, so you could use it as a shield bait move. Next up, we got Miraidon. I had a lot of fun with this Pokemon, actually, when trying to create a moveset for it. The first move I thought of was Thunder Shock, for fast moves at least. Thunder Shock is basically like Electric type Psycho Cut if you think about it. It's pretty weak, but it charges energy insanely fast. And you'll see why this is important in a second. But the next move we have is Volt Switch. This is like Electric type Confusion. And I don't know. I just thought it'd be nice to have a bit of a different moves. If you want to run more DPS or safer, more energy, but this has more DPS, this is safer. It's really up to your personal preference. And the final one was Dragon Breath. I had Dragon Tail on Koraidon, and I'm gotta throw Dragon Breath on Miraidon. It also makes it more viable as a possible Dragon type attacker, And the reason I chose these moves specifically were mostly because they're moves in Pokemon Go. They are very good, fast moves in Pokemon Go. And in the main series games, these are all special attacks, Miraidon being the special attacker out of the two. Now, moving on to Miraidon's charge moves, I think the first one would have to be Wild Charge. Wild Charge charges very fast, and it's a very, very good charge move. Does insane DPS, and it's a great Electro-type charge move. If an Electro-type gets it, that's amazing. Like, Mega Manectric, Shadow Electivire, these Pokemon are great. A lot of the reason because they have Wild Charge. Even though it's a physical move, Miraidon deserves to have Wild Charge. I don't want to get something like Thunderbolt, which would actually make it a lot worse. And it does get Wild Charge in main series games, so it makes sense. Next up, we have Outrage. I don't want to do the same thing as Koraidon, but Outrage is literally just a great Dragon-type charge move, and I really want to see it get Outrage instead of Draco Meteor, because Outrage is just better. It charges faster, and even though it has like a cooldown, it's still just better. You know, I like using. People like using more. I like using it more. If I had a Dragonite with Draco Meteor or a Dragonite with Outrage, it'd feel nicer using the Outrage one, because it's just like you fire it off so quick. It's so much quicker than Draco Meteor. You try it for yourself. Get a Draco Meteor Dragon if you have one for Community Day Classic or Community Day, and just try it in a raid. You know, throw in your Outrage one and then throw in your Draco Meteor one, or do the Draco Meteor one first, and you'll really see how fast Outrage is compared to it. The final move I wanted on Miraidon is actually a special move for once. This is a different one. It's not an Electro-type move or a Dragon-type move. It's actually Overheat. Now, this is for one reason. PvP. Specifically against, like, I don't know, Melmetal, Excadrill, stuff like that. Metagross, maybe. And this would really just be an absolute nuke of an option. Not getting raids, but it would be fun to see in PvP. I was thinking of a fourth charge move, but I couldn't really think of one. I was thinking of things like Thunder Punch for maybe faster option, but honestly, it didn't seem that good compared to what was already on the table. Wild Charge was just faster and better. One move I did think of though was Shadow Ball. This is mostly because of coverage options if you need someone from Mewtwo, Metagross, stuff like that. But the issue is you'd also have to give up a precious move slot when you're already going to probably fit Wild Charge in there, and then Overheat would also probably be great to slot in there as well. Or Outrage if you just want a really strong neutral hit, but it's also good because it actually hits Dragon types. So, you know. I would say though it would be fine at just Wild Charge, Outrage, and Overheat. But this is just my opinion. If you got any ideas for what you would want Koraidon Miraidon to look like in Pokemon Go, let me know in the comment section down below. And this is a new type of video. I've never really done this before. It's not really a tips and tricks in Pokemon Go or whatever. It's just my personal opinion on what I want these two to look like in Pokemon Go. Thank you all so much for watching, and if you enjoyed, please like and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.